I don't understand why this is happening. I feel very hunted. I'm worried they're going to try to take my son, and I don't know what steps to take next, and if I should contact my congressman, my senator. Those are the best ideas I had today.
This is Attorney Vincent Davis. I'm with my co-host Cynthia Becker, and we have a guest tonight, an attorney from the great state of Texas. Greg, you still with us?
I am right here for you.
Okay, Greg, we're going to take another call, and I would like you to handle this. This is Amber from Tennessee. Amber, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
Both, and I tried to organize things here for you. So I'll lay out my questions and then go through my story as concisely as I can. So I don't understand why this is happening. I feel very hunted. I'm worried they're going to try to take my son, and I don't know what steps to take next, and if I should contact my congressman, my senator. Those are the best ideas I had today. So we moved here from a West Coast city in search of a better life in June. And when we were having the internet hooked up, the internet install man called CPS and told them there was an abandoned, injured little boy at my home. He's 14. He had no injuries, and he was not alone. I had made friends with the doctor next door, who was a child psychologist who was teaching other children, and agreed to look after my son. So I had only been at work for 4 hours, and my phone kept going off. I finally answer it, and she tells me she's at my door to remove my son from the home. So very dramatic day, very awful. The doctor goes out, settles everything. He's a licensed child psychologist with the state of Tennessee, so he was able to handle that and prove that he was watching my son. So I think it's all going to go away. No. They have continued to harass me, stalk me for over 6 months, and they've never been able to produce anything. I'm a little bothered that they comment on how cute my children are. I don't like that. So I think that everything's gone away and it's done, and then I'm in a fight with extended family members over financial matters in the state of Wisconsin, and in the process of showing that these other people have no legal interest in collecting life insurance policy on me, I declare some forms of abuse that happened to me as a child, and abuses like rape that happened 10, 15 years ago. It was so spiteful and vindictive that that company turned around and filed a CPS claim down here. And so they come and they contacted me via text on January 6th and asked me if my children had any contact with the grandparents. And I say, nope, don't know what state they live in, don't know what their phone numbers, don't know where they live, nothing. They say, okay. Months later, they tell me that they need me to come into their office for an interview, and I say, absolutely not. Contact my attorney. You already have his phone number. Leave me alone. So he tells me that, no, like, if you don't meet with these people, they can file a petition and get you into a lengthy process, so we better meet with them. So I agree. We meet in the office. We clear everything up. They bring the police and an investigator, and I give them the different police reports that I filed when things happened 15 years ago. And they just say, okay, well, I'm sorry about all that. Do you need anything from us? And the police are no longer involved. They have no worries at all. CPS is continuing to stalk me and harass me. Been a lot of fun. I thought everything will just be okay. Eventually, it'll tire out, right? But unfortunately, I think my son stayed up to play the Xbox the other day after church on Wednesday, and on Thursday, he got into a fight with his sister on the bus. They are forcing children from the same household to sit on the same bus seat, even though they may hate each other. My children have a fight, and this man from the school calls me, and, well, I didn't even know he was from the school. He told me that he had my son and that there was a fight on the bus. I said, okay, I'll come get him, and if there's been a problem, I'll take him out of school. I'm saying that to be cordial. Like, okay, if my son's being a problem, I'll remove him from your school. And I think I'm being nice. He tries to argue with me about whether or not I can put my children in another school. And God forgive me, my mouth takes over. And I tell him, like, you know, you're not my husband, you're not their father, you don't pay my bills. I'll put my children in whatever school I want to. I homeschooled for 4 years. Being at public school is just a privilege for fun. You can't tell me what to do. If I want to take my child out of that school, I will. He hangs up the phone on me. And he still hasn't told me, he's refused to tell me who he is or where my child is. So I call my son, and I'm livid. And I'm screaming at him, where are you and who are you with? This man takes the phone from my son and tells me I can't talk to my son and hangs up. So now I'm on fire. I'm already in the car on the way to the school. I call the school immediately. I tell them the principal needs to be involved immediately. I need to know where my son is and that I'm almost there. She puts me on hold. She's a nice lady. I use that time to call 911 and tell them what's happened on the bus and that the man has refused to tell me who he is, where my son is, and took the phone from my son and told me I can't talk to my son and hung it up, and that I want a police presence at the middle school immediately. I get there, and I guess it's an SRO officer, which they've never had in any other state that we've lived in. This is a school resource officer. It's somebody that kind of works for the sheriff's department but doesn't wear a gun or anything, and he's very unkempt looking, very sloppy looking, you know. It's just a mess down here. And after I get my son home, that guy refused to release my son, by the way. The principal just made 4 requests and had 4 different staff members come up and tell him, oh, no, he can't go. And he said, he's going with his mother right now. Go and get him now. And the principal finally had to go back there and grab my son, by himself. Sorry, I get worked up when I talk about it.
Hold on
this
a
was
second.
just the other day.
Hold on, because we're going to be running out of time. What was the question you wanted to ask us?
Okay, well, it turns out that guy does work for the sheriff's department, and I threatened him when he came to the house because he had jerked my son around and took the phone from my son, so it sent me into a frantic, and I think that maybe now they maybe would have more ammunition to come after my son and take him. A little bit worried about that. Well, what should I do?
Well, Amber, this is Greg Houseworth here.
Yeah.
So, number one, we've got a 14-year-old. We've got a young man. What does he say about life at home?
My kids are super spoiled. We have an awesome house, and I'm pretty well off.
So he's obviously been interviewed by Protective Services, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's probably, your best line of defense. I tell a lot of people here in Texas, I say, look, the state does not want to raise that 14-year-old. 14-year-olds are hard to raise and they're expensive. Okay. But what's going on here is that you have managed through a series of unfortunate events to fall under their microscope.
Yes.
And it seems like they have
2 minutes.
An elevated level of sensitivity and concern about your situation for no good reason. So what I'm going to suggest right now is that you take a deep breath. Let's try to fly under the radar a little bit and make sure the kids are good. I did pull up on my computer here. There's something in Tennessee called the DCS Customer Relations Unit, and that's kind of their oversight for complaints and concerns. Yeah.
Okay.
Amber, how does that sound?
Okay, I will.
Okay.
And I'll try to stay under the radar, but they're very antagonistic.
Staying
right.
under the radar is always good, Amber, in these certain CPS situations. It's not a time to flex the muscle, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Amber, I want to thank you for calling. Thank you for listening. Call us back in 3 or 4 weeks and give us an update on what's happening. I'd really like to know what happens in the case. All right?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks. Bye.
Another break here. Pay some bills. This is The Secret. How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win.